What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Storm Sessions podcast. My name is Danny Enriquez, and I am here. We'll skip the introduction. You know who they are. Hanna Cavinder, Haley Cavinder. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. So not only is the season done, but a very long, interesting college athletics career is done.
Yeah.
How you guys feeling?
We're feeling good. I mean, I'm obviously so glad I went back for my 5th year. Being 24 in college is not my ideal of my college career, but honestly, I'm so glad we did it and we finished at the University of Miami. So,
yeah, I think I'm at peace, just like Haley said. I think obviously having that year over our heads, it was like, okay, we just need to go back because I think we'd regret it, personally for me too. So just obviously spending our last year college basketball together here at the University of Miami. It's bittersweet, but I'm at peace.
I know team goal is not necessarily what you guys wanted, but I mean, you doubled all your stats, right? You had a really good individual year, all ACC second team. So just looking back now in your college careers, is there a highlight, like a game, a play that when you're older and looking back, you're like, man, I was really a baller?
Baller. I would say definitely the Indiana game. One of my favorite games I've ever played in college basketball. And then honestly, one of my favorite games was winning the Mountain West Championship at Fresno State too. So those are both like top memories for me in college.
yeah, I think going off what Hannah said, I would say University, when we played at the University of Indiana, just because that's where we're from too. So it was so fun just to like go back there and just kind of feel like the love of basketball in the state of Indiana. And then obviously upsetting the number 1 seed. So that's a bucket list. And I would say like my shush moment. I mean, they always post it and it's like, I'm like,
It
why?
really is cool though.
But I think it just like looking back and like showing my kids that moment like in time is something that I always look back on in like a basketball career, something cool.
Was that a premeditated thing, or that was just a spur of the moment?
Not planned at all.
And honestly, she's not even like that. Like, she's not the type to
Yeah.
like have a lot of emotion on the court. She's very just more like straight faced. But like when you did that, I was surprised too.
I know, I was
wow.
surprised as well. And then I saw it I was getting tagged in like so many stuff on social media. And then I was like, oh wow, like I didn't know that was going to happen. But we upsetted the number 1 team too. So I think that's what made it big. And then Des hit the game winner. So it was just like all the juice in one. But no, definitely not play for sure.
So I talked to your mom, Katie, who's awesome. And you mentioned you were born in Indiana, right?
Right.
So a lot of people associate with Arizona. Born in Indiana,
Yeah.
3 sisters, so it's 5 under 5 at one point.
Yeah.
I heard. I mean, what was it like growing up in that household?
It was definitely chaotic. I still think there's a lot going on right now, a little bit more tamed now that we're older. But I would say, I don't know, I think they're just our best friends. Like having 4 other sisters is amazing. Very competitive though, in different ways. So, but I think my dad got the competitive athletes with us. Obviously he didn't have a son, so, but no, it was amazing growing up with them.
And both your parents were athletes, right? So
Yeah.
was that from the start, just kind of playing sports in the house, balls bouncing, or did you grow into that?
No, I think my parents put us into sports like right away. And we were all super into it as well. So growing up, we tried every sport you can think of. And I think at the age of 6 or 7, we were like, we love basketball. And it kind of separated. We played soccer growing up always. But once junior high hit, we were like, we want to play basketball together in college. But yeah, they put us in everything. Kind of wanted us to just pick what we loved. But my mom was really good at softball. My dad obviously played basketball in college. So I think he always wanted us to be basketball players.
Yeah.
Now, talking to your mom, I asked, what's the biggest difference between you guys? And she kind of struggled a little bit, to answer the question. She said, that obviously you guys are fraternal twins. Sometimes she thinks the doctor got it wrong. So I know there's differences between you guys. Obviously, I'm looking at you guys. But what are some of the big differences between you guys, either growing up, right now, just in general?
Personality-wise?
Whatever you want.
Personality-wise, I would say a big difference is probably Haley's more reserved. I would say I'm more outgoing, more a little bit extroverted. That's one of the big ones, I would say.
Yeah, I think that we're very, very similar when it comes to personality-wise. But I would say how we approach things are differently. So we think the same, but the approach is different.
Yeah, that's
Hannah's
true.
more impulsive, and like I like to overthink and overthink and overthink. So I think we balance each other out. But yeah, I would say that's one of our biggest
Oh, definitely more.
differences.
I'm probably funnier.
We saw the competitiveness early. You guys were doing rock, paper, scissors to see, who sat where. So obviously that's part of you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious, your parents coach you guys, right? Like 3rd grade or so?
My dad did.
Yeah.
Your dad, what kind of coach was he? What was that environment like?
Oh, God.
Oh, goodness. A lot of bad car rides home. Growing up, my dad was really, really tough on us, like really tough. And I think that looking back now, I'm grateful for that. But growing up, I was just like, oh my gosh, like he's always going to be like the bad guy, like always getting on us, always parenting us, especially as a coach too. Like he'll never tell you did good. I think that was just like the itch of always wanting to get better and better and like kind of getting a chip on our shoulders. But he definitely embedded that into us at a very young age, and he didn't care. And I'm really appreciative of that for sure.
And then you guys played with boys. It's kind of been well documented.
Yeah,
I heard the coach's son at one point was coming off the bench, which I'm sure he was not pretty happy about with that.
Yeah.
So what was that like competing against the boys and having that, people looking at you different and having to show you what you can do?
Right. I think it's just like Haley said, like putting that chip on your shoulder. My parents, like with the girls, obviously, like when you're playing at a young age, it's not as competitive and stuff. So I think always putting us with the older girls or playing with boys and stuff, honestly, gave us that little drive to get us to college athletics. So
yeah, I think when you're competing and then you're excelling at a young age, you always have to increase the competition, whether it's playing up in like youth sports or playing in our WAM was like our YMCA back in Arizona. So we were the only girls, but I mean, it worked.
So the rebounding, one thing I think both you guys, Haley, you're rebounding this year, especially that kind of, to me, signifies your game being not the tallest girls on the floor and being able to rebound at such a high level and play with such toughness. Was that always part of your game, just being, playing above your size and being physical and being tough?
I would say, yeah, I always had an itch for rebounding, and I just kind of taken it into heart when it comes to, our size was always questioned growing up. Whether it was getting recruited into playing college basketball, it was always like, you're too small, you're too small. So if I ever gave them a reason to get me off the court or like as a competitor, I'd be like, I'm going to be the best rebounder. And I don't really care about size when it comes to that. So I feel like that would just kind of gave me like a little bit of a competitive edge and kind of was like a slap in the face to the college coaches. Honestly, that's how I looked at it because I'm the smallest on the floor, but I can rebound. And that's kind of how I approached it.
Athletics, huge part of your life. We know how that is, constant trips. It can take so much time, plus being a student. Was there anything else, room for anything else to do? Or what were your other hobbies at high school?
in high school,
Yeah.
like you said, I think when as an athlete, if you're trying to get to the next level, you devote so much time for that and you sacrifice a lot. I would say obviously we loved hanging out with our family. Like I said, we're huge family girls, so that always being by a beach. I love the beach. And just like being outside. I think in high school, those were our big passions, and that's kind of what led into our passion for like health and fitness today.
So same thing, right? No, just outside.
Not really. In high school, we were very cutthroat when it came to like trainings for basketball, and trying to figure out like eating the right way and trying to prepare ourselves for college. So, I mean, I think we've led way more into hobbies now that I'm older. Yeah. But our main hobby was like playing basketball.
Your mom mentioned that like other girls, let's say you had a prom or a big dance or whatever, formal. I've seen that. I've seen my sisters and my wife now. I mean, it takes a long time, right? You're getting your makeup done, everything's happening. You guys would go like from basketball tournaments and go straight to the dance sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like, all right, we're doing something different than maybe our friends are doing, and like, I don't know if you felt a way about it or just how you approach being different at an age when, we're high school. It's a tough time for people.
Yeah, I think that you have to sacrifice. I think in a young age, we saw it with my parents growing up. We knew what our goal was and whatever it took to get there, even if it was a prom or, coming from basketball and rushing. I think that it didn't really matter because our main goal was to make it to the next level. And I think when people talk about that, like sacrificing so much at a young age, I think that can lead to luck at sometimes. So that's kind of what we did. And our goal was to get there. And that's what led us here today. So.
And you kind of hinted at this, Haley, during the recruiting process, that colleges maybe were looking at your height a little bit. I know you guys you wanted to stay together. Yeah. What was that process like trying to pick a school? Right.
I think coming out of playing AAU basketball and high school basketball, we weren't heavily recruited when it came to the Power 5 schools. We definitely had looks at mid-major Division I, and Hanna and I were okay with that because I wanted to go somewhere where we could play together. And win and play right away and be impactful like freshmen. I didn't want to sit out. And so I think the process, we kind of just were real with ourselves and we're like, okay, let's go mid-major. We didn't have an ego with it, and just go and be successful in the mid-major level and then place yourself one day to show colleges if you did want to enter the portal. So, yeah, that's kind of what our mindset was. It was just more of drive, and I never really played like, oh my gosh, I'm too small. It's just like, go show them you're not small on the court.
And you guys both made a pretty quick impact at Fresno State. So that adjustment to the college game, what was it like for you?
I think it was pretty seamless. Like Haley said, I think obviously like physicality wise was probably the biggest game changer. But we prepared ourselves a lot with nutrition. We love lifting weights early on, honestly, the summer from high school to playing college. So I think just all about preparation.
It's just you guys playing on the court at the same time. Obviously, we saw that a lot this season, but you're very similar games, right? How, from just a basketball standpoint, what was that like, playing with each other when you guys are very similar players?
I would say at Fresno State, we were very, very similar. I would say, like, scoring-wise, rebounding-wise. I think, like you said, like maybe a combo guard, point guard, our size. But our main goal was just being on the court together. I think the twin telepathy is a real thing, and we kind of, like, let that lead us. But when it got to Miami, our games are definitely very, very different. So,
yeah, I think it's just all about the role that you take on, and our games are very, very similar. Like, Hanna is just as talented as me, but I feel as we went to Miami, we needed a point guard. We needed someone that would play that role, and Hannah's a great assist. She knows how to run the team. She's the floor general. So that year she took this year she took that role on, and she was very successful with that. So
you guys had such an interesting career because there were things happening that were bigger than you, but that you were a part of, right? So women's basketball explodes. NIL kind of explodes. What was it like being part of that wave, and not just part of it, but really kind of at the forefront of a lot of this stuff?
I would say, yeah, it's definitely something that we have huge pride in. Obviously, like you said, like female athletes don't always get the chance to go to the next level or go professionally. And that's a huge reason why I think the fifth year is also very important for people that were considering it, just because, like you said, like you don't always get to go pro or have as many opportunities as the star quarterback. So being able to have a forefront and kind of show the way of NIL is definitely something Haley and I have huge pride in.
Yeah, I think it's important to show just like the younger female generation as well. Like you can be successful in college and place yourself to be successful in the future as well beyond college. So it's definitely important. I think looking back, it's past and gone by, and we never really knew what NIL was and like what to expect. And then looking back at it, like being in college athletics when it's passed, it's just been crazy. And I think we've learned as we gone, and being forefront like runners of that is something that's very important to us. And I think that we can help girls in any way. We would love that.
So 2020, COVID, the TikTok starts to get some traction. I mean, just from your perspective, right, as it's happening, did you kind of get the feeling like when did you get the feeling like, wow, this is kind of popping off?
I would say I probably like July 1, 2021 was, or 2020. Wow. It's crazy.
5 years.
That's literally crazy. I would say the billboard moment was kind of like, whoa, with Boost Mobile, just kind of starting it there. But I don't think that we truly understood like that dynamic and building your brand and getting equity within brands and stuff probably till like a year and a half ago. Like what it actually did to our lives.
Yeah, I think 100% really I don't think at that moment we knew what it is now. I don't think it was hard to digest, like everything that was happening.
Yeah. Do
you get a team around you? Do you get an agency? Do you get a lawyer to look over your contracts? Like, how do you protect yourself? Like, everything happened so quickly. So I think, it's changed our lives. Insane. NIL passing single-handedly changed Hannah and I's lives, but you'd learn as you go and just kind of position yourself to build a brand and build our business. Now, what it is just, it's insane to look back on.
When that first TikTok really took off, were you guys like checking your phones like after practice, just like, whoa, like how was that experience of just seeing the numbers kind of climb?
Yeah, I think we were very young and like naive and like we didn't really understand. I think we were just doing it for fun. Haley didn't even want a TikTok. I made her get in it. So she was just like in this chicken wing basketball dance and we're like, oh my gosh, she got 100K, or we hit 100K. And then it kind of just like navigated on all apps. And it was a domino effect. So kind of just did it for fun in the beginning, and then just to do it with your best friend by your side. It's the dream job.
So we mentioned the NIL kind of changing the game. We mentioned women's basketball, the game changing, also the portal, right? So, I mean, you guys kind of, like Forrest Gump, if you ever see that movie, all these big historical events,
Haley
you guys are
loves
kind
the
of riding
portal.
it.
Lived there.
She lived that.
Lived there.
So, portal opens up.
Uh-huh.
What was the decision like to enter the portal, and
Yeah.
then what led you ultimately to Miami?
When portal opened up and we were able to transfer and play right away, our ultimate goal was let's go play at the highest level, try to get to March Madness, positioned ourselves to get there. And I think we had a bad year as a team. At Fresno State, we underperformed. We didn't even, I don't think we went to the WNIT that year. No, we didn't. And so we entered into the portal. We just kind of looked at a bunch of schools, and then Miami, obviously. My parents and family weren't here yet, but my grandparents lived in Naples, and we love Florida, and I loved everything that Coach Meyer and her staff had to position and offer to Hannah and I. And so that's what led us here, and I'm so grateful for that, just because I love the University of Miami, and able to represent this university is insane.
You come from, people who don't know, a family of entrepreneurs, right?
Right.
In terms of your family's elevator company, and they kind of moved around. You ended up
Right.
here with that. Did that help you as you're handling all the business stuff while still trying to have your athletic career? Like, it's not something that's foreign to you guys to be businesswomen and really look at the world that way?
100%. I mean, I've seen it like single-handedly every single day within my parents and my dad. He's an entrepreneur himself, and he's always told us at a young age, it's not a 4-year plan, it's a 40-year plan. He loves that saying. But no, he got us with his financial advisor right away to invest, and save money no matter what, because that's the end goal. No, like, you don't need to go spend. So, I'm super grateful to have that growing up, because not everybody gets that, and being able to see that, I think that's led us to build our brand for what it is today.
Yeah, I think 100% what Hannah said. I think it was embedded in us at a young age. Like, even if you have a lot, just be frugal, have a frugal mindset, just because you never know what can happen. So I think that obviously having that in the back of our head growing up, and then just kind of learning the game and learning the business game and how to approach and attack it. My parents taught us that, and we saw that firsthand. So I'm really grateful for that, because I think nowadays, when there's so much money in NIL, how to approach that and kind of how to navigate that as a young kid. Like, some of these people are like 18, now they're 20, you get all this money, what do you do with it? So I'm really grateful to have those parents in my life, for sure.
So you get to University of Miami. You're used to the sun, right? You grew up in
Yeah.
Arizona, but seeing the campus and kind of seeing the vibe, what were your impressions of the city of Miami? Obviously, you have family here in Florida, but just being, Coral Gables, it's kind of like a different vibe.
Yeah, I think Coral Gables is absolutely amazing. The University of Miami is literally the most perfect campus, truly. So just seeing all that, that's amazing within itself. But I think the community, the connections you can make, the people you meet, is something that you don't get everywhere. So we were just trying to take it all in. When I first came to Miami, I thought it was like, oh my gosh, party. But no, that Coral Gables is so low key, and I love it there. So, yeah.
So now you're on the team. You're already, famous, right? In terms of you've done things that people know about you. Was part of you like, all right, we're going to show everybody that we're here also to play basketball and to elevate this program?
I don't think I ever had that in my mindset. I think obviously you have to let people think what they want, but the way Hannah and I approached the game never changed. So I think that kind of just spoke for itself when we got here. I wasn't changing or trying to change my habits to make them see something. I just kind of did what Hannah and I did to be successful, to get us recruited by Miami. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good look and like perspective on it. But for us, it was just kind of like do what we did.
What you did was help elevate the program. Obviously,
Thank you.
Elite Eight, the best season in the history of this program. What was that ride like? Because it was, kind of like your careers the whole way through, underestimated, kind of proving people wrong. What was that ride like?
Every athlete's dream. So, I mean, like, that's what led us back. We wanted the taste of the March Madness tournament. I mean, still right now it eats you up because you want to be there. So, I would say, yeah, it was every competitor's dream, what you work for.
Yeah, I think getting on those stages and those moments in front of those crowds, we were younger, growing up and going to high school, like March Madness. When March Madness started, it was never on a weekend. So I would always tell my mom, like, I need to stay home and watch all these games. And then looking back, and it's like, wow, you were a part of that run that deep in March Madness, just like Han said, touched on. It's what you work for your whole life. It's why we transferred to Miami. So it was an insane experience. It's one of my favorite experiences to ever be a part of, honestly. Just, it happened so quick. and everything was so fun and like you're just like in the moment. But looking back, it's just like wow, like it's just like an unreal experience with your twin sister in this university.
Haley, you mentioned something earlier I want to get to, which is you kind of block out a lot of the stuff. Obviously, you guys who live so much of your life in the public eye. How important is it, and for young women watching this or young men, people who are in this social media world, how important is it to sort of block that out and have confidence in who you are and the people around you?
Right. I think it's so easy to say, block it out, block it out. It's extremely important, I think, for your mental health. And just nowadays, everyone puts their opinion on you on social media. And I think people say that comes with it, but it doesn't really, we don't ask for people's opinions on certain things or news to share certain things about us. But I think that having a circle and a family that supports you and really just valuing what they think about you and the people that are in your lives and talk to you every single day is something I've learned being in this space for 5 years now. But no, I think it's extremely important. I think being able to just kind of navigate the negative and the positive in this world has really helped me. And having Hanna to lead on is really important too. I mean, that's really helped me.
So the decision after the run to kind of take a step back. Mm-hmm. I know it was a different decision for both of you guys, or you guys are obviously your own people. So tell me from your perspective, and then we'll go to you, Haley, as far as that decision to take a step back.
I would say, obviously, like you said, the March Madness tournament, that was my end goal. So I kind of was at peace not going back. Obviously, I didn't have a significant role that year, so kind of played into it mentally. It was just kind of draining. Like, as a competitor, you want to be on the court and do what you can for the team. So obviously, I kind of was battling through that and some other things, personal things in my life that I just needed to take a step back, and I didn't think the 5th year was the best option for me at that point in time in my life. So, no, I just took a step back. I fell in love with health and fitness even more, building our own brands, diving deeper into that and having creative control. So I would say I just mentally wasn't ready for that. And then Coach Fitz called me like 7 times on like all my long runs because I love running. And I would just tell him like, no, I didn't really think it was the best fit and all that jazz. And then it kind of ultimately one thing led to another and we ended up back here. So wouldn't change it even if the season wasn't what we thought it would be.
How about you, Haley?
Yeah, I think that we felt the same thing at a different period of time after we walked away and decided not to play. So I just think having that option of taking my 5th year and really my 5 years of college basketball, that was going to eat me up if I never did it. So I'm so glad I did. And I think that ending my career here is exactly what I wanted to do with my twin sister. So obviously there was a lot of going back and forth, going to TCU, coming back here. But I think that just Coach Fitz, I have a great relationship with him, and he called us, and I just think that that's where we wanted to end up being, was here and playing with Hanna, and I'm so happy I did.
Now, Hanna, you in particular, you mentioned you had the team success, right? But you felt you had some unfinished business as an individual, right?
Yeah.
How did it feel to come back and really, again, see your stats double, your playing time escalate a lot, and really have a much larger role and kind of get rewarded for all the hard work that you put in?
Right. I think it was really, really how I would want my last year to be, even if we didn't make the March Madness tournament. Actually, no, I take that back. I'd want to make the March Madness tournament regardless. But I would say, no, individually, it was just more about like being on the court with my twin sister. You never get to feel that again. And that's kind of what I really wasn't like a stats focused girl on the court. I kind of was just like, okay, like how do I help the team win at the end of the day? So that's kind of how I approached it. But being on the court with your twin sister, your best friend, there's no better bond. So,
Coach Cullup, you guys had 2 coaches, right? So now with Coach Cullup there, what's the future of Miami look like, having seen how she works and kind of the culture she's trying to install?
Right. Yeah, I think that the staff that she has and the person that she is, they'll be extremely successful. You can tell by the recruiting class they have. So I'll definitely be tuned in for all the games. And yeah, I think that she's a great person first, and also even a great coach. So I think that just goes hand in hand. And yeah, I'm looking forward to what they do next season and her 2nd year of being in the league in the ACC. So I'll definitely be tuned in.
So as we move to this next chapter, I've been wanting to ask you about, you mentioned a couple times, the health and fitness and just how important that is. It seems like it's a big topic just in general. Now people are, since COVID, kind of becoming more aware of the importance of health and fitness. Why are you so passionate, this is for both of you guys, we'll start with Hanna. Why are you so passionate about not just your own health and fitness, but the health and fitness of others?
I think I'm so passionate about it because I went through something that I very much struggled with, and one of my best friends now, but I would say my nutritionist then got me out of it. And what she was to me is what I want to be to other girls. And I think being able to have a platform and share that with people and be able to help people that are struggling or don't know where to go within their nutrition or workout plans and stuff, if I can play a pivotal role in their life like she did to me, then I think that's so fulfilling.
Yeah, I think just kind of touching on that, like when you deal with something firsthand, and being able to kind of recover, like why not help another girl? And then health and fitness is so talked about nowadays in social media, and I feel like that's such a good thing because there's a lot of girls that struggle out there as well. And I think just Hannah nailed it. If you can be a vital piece in someone's recovery or someone's help or just trying to help a girl with health and fitness, like someone did to us, then why not? And why not use your platform for the good? So we kind of fell in love with that, and being able to use our platform to kind of just gauge that audience as well is so fulfilling.
If people talk about physical fitness and mental health like two different things, but a lot of times they're connected,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. They're connected.
Yeah.
So, want to ask you about the Together app, right? You get this your business side, and then of course your personal passion kind of comes together here. Plus, it's got the nice twin branding. So, tell me about the Together app.
The Together app, that's our baby. Like you said, we work with such incredible brands, and we love doing that. But we wanted to do something that was more of our own and build it up. And the Together app is workout programs for girls, so they can join that. There's challenges all the time. There's recipes on there, travel guides, kind of beginner, advanced, etc. So you can go on there if you need anything to do or anywhere to start. You can go there. We also are very passionate with nutrition. There's something coming very soon with that. So being able to have more freedom and have more time to take that one-on-one, we're super excited about.
Yeah, Hannah touched on it. I think now it's even cooler to see that you build something of your own, and now brands kind of want to partner with that as well. And so that's so fulfilling in itself because it's now you're doing best of both worlds and being able to use your platform to promote your app and our baby, like Hannah said, but also now having brands. I think it's so important to be able to work with them as well. So it's so cool how you can use social media to really brand yourself, brand your businesses if you do it the right way.
We talked about it offline, but my daughter and so many young girls, when you go to the games, they watch you guys kind of try to see themselves in you. How important is that now that your athletics career, at least your college athletics career, has come to an end? And we'll talk about next steps in a second. To leave something behind with girls that are like you at that age.
Right. I think it's what you play for. It's what you do. I think inspiring. Nothing's more fulfilling than going to a game or away game and seeing a girl with a 14 jersey on. Like that just is a whole different level of appreciation and being able to, like, it's bigger than you. And I think that's just something that really I always saw in the stands. Like we kept seeing young girls wanting to meet us, want to come up with us, and how do we use what we build or what we've done to inspire the younger generation. And I think that it's just so fulfilling, and knowing that you're doing something or being that to a young girl is something that just, it's hard to put into words.
So we talked about Together app. Next steps. Is professional basketball done? Is it total focus on the next step in the business and the brand? What comes next for the Cavinder twins?
Well, for Hanna Cavinder, I would say, speaking for me. No, I for 1,000%, I think it's building our brand, continuing to work with the amazing brands that we do, building the Together app, like you said, just diving deeper with the time we have. So super excited for the next year.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that just diving fully 100% into the business space and just being entrepreneurs and being able to work with brands like Han said, the brands that we're working with, being able to just kind of dive 100% into that is something we're really passionate about and looking forward to.
Now, it hasn't been just total smooth sailing, right? There's been hardships along the way. Now that you have time to reflect, right? You're not in it. You're not worried about the next game.
Yeah.
Just reflecting. What's a hardship, whether it could be elementary, high school, college, just it doesn't need to be on the court. Just something that you've faced and overcome on your journey.
You got it?
I would say I would just say I'm like a huge advocate for mental health. I think people struggle with it, and it looks different from me. It looks different for Haley, and I think just going through that journey and being able to overcome that by yourself or however you get help is very, very important and should be talked about more and more normalized. And I think it is getting more normalized today, so I'm like happy to see that.
Yeah, I would say that. I think a hardship or something that I did, I'm trying to think. I feel like the glamorized of being a college athlete, it's so good from the outside lens, and it really is. You get so many benefits, you get so much, but the day-to-day grind and showing up and being a student and then being an athlete and the hours you put in, and maybe you're not best friends with your coach that day, and you're running and you're sick and you don't want to be there and all this and this. Like, I feel like being a college athlete is so hard, and I think that prepares you for what's next for any college athlete, not just Hannah and I. But yeah, I would just say it in itself, the hardships of being a college athlete for 4 years. I mean, it's not easy, but it's also the most rewarding thing. But yeah, the day-to-day life of it's extremely hard.
Yeah, there was a study I saw where women executives, like 90% of them played very competitive sports at some time. So
Right.
To your point, it really
Yeah,
kind of helps prep you. Now as you transition from, I got the quote here, from trailblazer to entrepreneur, it'll help you. It'll help you out right there. So on that point, I mean, this is for both you guys. It's like you said, it's not easy being a college athlete. They see everybody sees the games, they see the TikToks, they don't see the injuries, kind of the rehab, and just kind of waking up in the morning for these tough workouts. What drives you? What drove you through the athletic part, and now what drives you here as you go to the next step to keep pushing and keep excelling?
I don't necessarily know if it's like what drives me. I think it's in you. And I think just like at a young age, like you do everything to 100% unless you don't do it. That's what my dad always said. So I think that's the fire that's in us. I think we motivate each other. We hold each other accountable no matter what it is in life. I'm not on basketball, just in life in general. So I think that kind of navigates and goes into the entrepreneurship and always wanting more and always wanting to be more successful as you can. So.
Yeah, I would say, kind of touching on what Hannah said, I would just being just like as a competitor, like any aspect of life, like I want to be the best at, and that's just like what eats me inside. And then obviously with your twin sister by your side, like we're competing regardless if it's basketball, if it's a board game, if it's where we want to sit, we're like playing rock paper scissors. So I just think that it's just the competitiveness in me, and I just want to be the best at whatever I do, whatever hand I touch or wherever I go. I just want to do it 100%.
So obviously your brands are staying together, but you're moving to Texas. You're going to stick it around here in Florida. How are you feeling just on a personal level about going different directions?
Or everyday conversation.
It's basically we talk about it every day. But yeah, I mean, she's literally my best friend, and I don't know what's different, but it's okay because I do believe that we'll always be together. But I just think that it's just hard because I've never lived in a different state, so it sucks. Yeah,
it sucks, but it's okay. We're growing up, and we're gonna see each other a lot.
We're growing up. Yes,
we're growing up.
It's a good positive take.
It's fine. It will be always good. It'll be good.
You'll be good. So I got a lot of questions from the fans here, and I'll just ask both you guys each question. Carlos Vogel wants to know, what's your signature move? We'll start with Hannah.
My signature move, I would say floater. Sure, Haley.
Hannah will come to me and she's like, the
floater's
game's on
there.
today.
The floating. It was there and then it wasn't, but it's there.
I would say mine is the headsy cross to my right. Like I always set them up left and go right, and then probably spin back right.
Yeah. Saw that a bunch this year.
Solid answer.
BDog603 wants to know, who is older by minutes or seconds?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. I'm older.
Oh, so the first win. Transitions to the next question from Thrill Joe 3. Who wins in a 1v1?
Haley. But I'm
you let her have it that easy?
Try defending Haley Cavinder. I mean, try it. It's not fun.
Growing up, it was literally, we went back and forth. And I just think that Hannah still wins. Like in summer, when we played summer pickup, it was
not really.
We split.
You kind of ate me alive. Because I didn't touch a basketball for a year.
Yes, but I do believe that growing up, it was split. Probably now, me.
My defense has gotten better.
Would you guys talk smack? Was it that kind of thing, or were you just playing ball?
I mean, no, we're definitely talking smack.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Nice. Green or orange from Vince Vignola?
Green or orange? Green.
Yeah, green?
Yeah, green's my favorite color.
I love green, but I'm an orange girl during the summer.
Love.
All right. Well, listen, we'll all be watching the next steps. I know
Awesome.
Canes fans are so grateful for everything you brought to the program and just, inspiring another generation and really elevating the level of women's basketball. So appreciate both of you guys. Remember to stay tuned to Storm Sessions, like and subscribe on YouTube, Canes All Access, also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thank you guys so much.
Go Canes! Go Canes!